Hey, what's up guys? I'm back with another shitty video, and the reason I say shitty because I didn't get any subscription and like from the last two videos, and I don't really know what is going on, but I really don't care. I really care, actually, I care. Okay guys, let's see how we can make this particle system. Hierarchy, right click and effects particle system. So when you select particle system, it's just going to create a very basic particle system for you guys, which you have to play with these variables to make it more beautiful. So first of all, I'm just going to change the duration to 1, start lifetime 0.2, and start speed, sorry, maybe 10. Yeah, and the emission, I'm just going to change it to maybe more 500, and max particles to 500 too. And in the shape, I go with cone angle to 0. And for the radius, I go really low. And if you right now move the particle, because the simulation is local, all the particles just gonna move, but I'm just gonna make it to the world. So now if I move it, it's like a tail and it's much better. And the next thing you can add is color over lifetime, this one. So if I open it up, you can play with these values, and I'm just going to change the alpha to 0 and make another point in the middle and a color. The alpha here, 200 is enough. And at the end, I'm just going to put it to 0. The color in the middle is just going to go for a little bit blue. And at the end, I'm just going to go way more blue. Maybe in the here. That's good. That's what I remember from Iron Man movie. But I think Iron Man had a yellowish jetpack power, I guess. Anyway, I don't really remember, but it's not the case. You can change it to yellow. I'm just going to change this alpha maybe to 75. That would be even better. We're going to come back to it if there was something wrong. But for now, I just change it to 75. And there is something else we can add, which is size over a lifetime. We can increase the size here at the beginning to 0.5, and in the middle I'm just gonna increase it to 1. Yep, that seems good to me for our jetpack. We can just test it into our scene. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna restart the transform, but first I'm just gonna put it into our jetpack, and then I'm gonna restart the transform. So it's gonna put it in the middle of the jetpack game object. So if I restart transform, now you see the object gonna go in the middle of the jetpack, and now we can run the scene to see how does it look. And put your headset and see how does it feel. And I feel this one is a bit big. It's too much. So I'm just gonna decrease the size to 0.1. It's too small. 0.2 would be better. There we go. Now I think this is the one that I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pause the game and go and fix the particle system and then add it to our prefab. First, select the particle system, decrease the scale, and then push it to our prefab. And that part is a bit tricky if you're new in Unity, but if you're not, just do it. And there is one thing, if you want to add it into a jetpack, you cannot find any override. So you have to go in upper layer and choose which prefab you want to push your changes. So I'm just going to push it into our jetpack. And if you have any problem, just clear them. Sometimes Unity just gives you some errors. You can just clear them. Doesn't matter really. And the next and last thing that we need in our particle system is a start lifetime, which regarding to that value that we have from trigger button in Jetpack script. So we can fetch that value and play with as a start lifetime, and we're good to go. Come back to your script. We need a reference to our particle system. Go with public particle system. I'm going to call it particle system reference. And another public vector 2 we need for the particle system lifetime range. So I'm just going to go with public vector 2, and it's going to be particle range. That's all we need. We have a reference, and we can change the value to the particle range that we have, and we're good to go. Now we can use update function because it's not related to physics. So we can update our particle system here. So we go with particle system reference dot the time. It's an start lifetime. Start lifetime. So we need to put that in absolute. We're going to do it later. Here we're going to use math.lerp. When the trigger value is between 0 to 1, we can get the value of a minimum and maximum of any range that we want. So we put here minimum and maximum and the value which is the trigger value, which means when the trigger value is 1, it's going to give us the maximum of that range, and when it's 0, it's going to give a minimum. Close the editor and come back to Unity, wait for recompiling. There we go. And if you go to the prefab, drag and drop your particle system right here. And the range, I'm just gonna go between 0.1 to 0.2. And that's all we need. You can come back, save the scene, and hit play. Let's see how does it look. Our shitty particle system is working. And yeah, it's working well. And I'm not happy with the visual. It's too transparent. I'm just gonna change that too. And after we're gonna have this sound effect, and when we fire, we're gonna hear like a real jetpack. That would be even nicer. So if you come back to Unity, I'm just gonna fix that particle system first, and then we're gonna add the sound effect. So if you go to particle system here, I'm just gonna go to color lifetime and increase this value to maybe 150 would be enough. If you come back and hit play, you'll see this one is much better. If you guys are following this video and making this particle system and everything, I really want to know what exactly you're making. And if you have a better idea of making this particle system, let me know. Send it to our Discord. Join to the Discord. That's a very small community that we have fun over there sometimes. And you can send your stuff. And that gives me like a motivation. That's a motivation actually for me to just create more videos, because I see you guys are watching the video. And the next thing I'm just gonna add here is the audio source. So I'm just gonna have the public audio source. I'm gonna call it audio source reference. I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did for the particle system. We need a vector too also for the pitch of the sound. So I'm just gonna call it audio pitch range. And we're gonna have the same thing for the pitch. So if I go to the update, and here I call instead audio source reference, and here I'm just gonna call it pitch. I'm not gonna call it, I'm just gonna get the pitch and use math.lerp. And here I'm just gonna put audio pitch range, X and Y, and trigger value gonna stay the same. And if I come back to Unity, you can add the audio source right here, but I'm not gonna do it here. I'm just gonna remove this and go to the prefab and do it over there. That's another way of doing it, which always I do. This is a better way of doing changes into your prefab. It's gonna be more clear what exactly you're doing, and there's not gonna be any override that you need to deal with. It's gonna be much better this way. So you give the reference, and that's the time to change the pitch to, I'm just gonna play this pitch between like 1 or maybe 1 to 1.2. These values, that would be good related to your audio, but the volume is too much 1 most of the time. I'm just gonna put it to half, and the audio pitch I'm just gonna put to 1 and 1.2, 3. Yeah, 3 is good. There we go. And that's the time to add the sound effect, which we don't have any sound effect right now in our project. Either we have to download or create one, which I prefer to create a sound effect, which is faster and I know how to do it. So what I do is I open DaVinci and make my own sound, and I make it with my mouth, like I just make this sound with my mouth, my hand, and stuff around me. Yeah, that's how I create these shitty sound effects, and sometimes I sell it. Yeah. And then all you need to do, you can drag and drop it into your project, and then you drag and drop it into the audio clip in audio source, and you're good to go. And also don't forget to add it into the prefab. Then that's it. Hit play. Let's see. And if you guys join to the Discord, there is a channel called Assets. So I'm just gonna drag and drop anything that I make in our videos, and I'm gonna put it there so you can freely download it and use it wherever you want. Yeah. And ask for it if the other assets I forgot, just ask for it, I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah, again, just join to the Discord and ask your questions, and if you have any problem while you're making these things, you can let me know. I will try my best to answer you very fast. And in the next video, we're gonna see how we can fly and how we can fire with our gun, with the Iron Man hands, and how we can charge our hand. And as you can see in the video, we increase the energy and we fire, and it's gonna give us a bigger explosion. So subscribe to not miss the next tutorial, guys. See you guys later. Have fun flying around.